Your comfortable place might be comfortable because you've outgrown that space, those people, and you need to move to the next level. Change is difficult, change is hard, change is very uncomfortable. But it's necessary for you to keep moving, keep growing, and get to the next level. It's called comfortable space because you've outgrown it. When I work at jobs and I feel like I've learned everything, I begin to hunger for what next. That's when I begin to get uncomfortable in those spaces, and I know that it's time for me to leave. But the fear of the unknown, the fear of starting over, the fear of, what are the risks involved? Lots of fear holds us back, and we just want to sit in that comfortable spot, not growing, not learning, until everything we know becomes obsolete. I remember I was at a crossroad in my life when I finished my master's degree in the US, and I didn't know where I was going. I was asking God for direction, and I didn't even know if I was gonna stay in the US, but I knew that I was ready for God's leading. My pastor at the time, God rest his soul, wanted me to stay back in the city, and the church was trying to ask me to approve them to file a religious visa for me. But with that religious visa, there are going to be a lot of restrictions for me. And I went to God in prayer and I asked him after my graduation that, okay, God, what next? And I remember God telling me that, Ifeoma, it's time for you to move. When I promised you that I'm going to take you places, I expect you to be willing, have a heart that is willing to move when I say move. And I love my church. I love the community I built. And I didn't want to leave. But when God said leave, I had to leave. I went to my pastor, I told him, hey, I'm going to leave. And I moved, went to a different city, a different state. And then that transition was hard. It took me almost 4 months before I got a job. In fact, I was on the verge of losing my work authorization when God brought the job through for me. And there were so many challenges, but God saw me through because he had given the word for my move. And even if I didn't know what the future was at that time or where I would be, today, where I am, I look back and I see the hand of God and I'm like, God, yeah, if I didn't make that move, I'm not sure I would have grown as much as I have over these years. So this is just a word of encouragement for you. You might not have the full picture. You might not even have a glimpse into the picture. And that can be a big risk for you to just move without knowing what to do. But I bet you, if you put your trust in God, if you ask God to direct your path, he will. I remember that period of my life, all I was praying to God was, God, give me direction. God, give me direction. And even if I didn't see the full picture, I kept moving. I kept playing my part. I kept strategically positioning myself in a way that when opportunities come, when God opens the door, I'm ready to receive those blessings. Keep working on yourself. Keep moving. Keep doing the work, putting in the work. I promise you, when that change comes and you're transitioning and you transition, it's gonna be worth it. Don't be scared to start over. Starting over might be God's way of repositioning you and putting you on the path you were meant to be. Have a great day.